Ladies and gentlemen, Sunday evening, the 7th of January in 2024, and we have a sector that is on fire. We have been following it for half a year, and like a month ago, 6 weeks ago, give or take, it finally started to move, and now we are seeing even the more speculative or shitty companies, let's say, are breaking out. So it is a sector that pays great dividend, and not many people are investing into that, and it's on paper a boring asset or a boring sector, and it is shipping. Normally I do these on Monday, so tomorrow, but I have some time to do it now, so I'll just get it right into it. I didn't do it last week because we had the holidays and all that, so I needed 1 week to happen, and now we can look back 1 week. As mentioned, the stocks are doing fantastic, really fantastic. Yes, the Baltic Dry Index has come down, but I want to show you the Baltic Dry Index here. Again, the line we have had on here for a long time, and sometimes you just nail every trend line, every horizontal line, support and resistance, and I think this is one of them. This is the BDRY, the Baltic Dry Index. You can see here we had this downsloping channel here, and then we finally started to form at some point here. We had it. That was our all right. Maybe we have an inverted head and shoulders in the making, and truly we did. That was the right shoulder, and the symmetry is perfect. We had a breakout, came into roughly the triangle high here, which was also actually a lot of resistance at that point in time. Huge retest all the way up to resistance there, and now we are testing again that major previous resistance, now support. Again, ideally we hold here, and then in my view, if we hold, yes, we are definitely going to the target of that inverted head and shoulders, and possibly higher. Again, you can easily overshoot, but that is how you would trade it. That is the target, roughly 4,300 in that range. However, I think we can easily overshoot. Again, the moving average is strong, so we could overshoot, and we could even tag the upper trend line there. So definitely textbook stuff here from the Baltic Dry Index. Beautiful stuff here. I expect to find support. Gap is also closed there, so that is beautiful. Remember, this is the weekly candle, so it's a bit of long-term chart. This is 2 years worth of data. The BDRY, the breakaway dry bulk shipping ETF. Again, what I run here again, I think a lot of it is, of course, also fueled by the stuff going on. I can't remember the name of the canal, but you know, the shipping issues that they have in the Middle East, whatever it is, that huge canal that is now closed, and they have to ship all the way around Africa and then on towards Europe. So definitely there it is. All the hard stuff has been done. However, looking at the daily, yes, we've actually done quite a lot in a very short period of time. So even though, again, this is just my perspective, even though we are above here on support, and also we had the retest done and all that, I would definitely want a bit of a pause here before I would enter if you weren't already in. It is very stretched on the daily, and again, I think we should just relax a bit, and then we can maybe go higher. Again, that's just my take on things. But as you can see here, overall, we have broken out of all major resistances, trend lines, and all that good stuff. So if we hold here, that is very nice. But yes, we are very stretched. The 30 weekly is all the way down here. So again, let's just have a good, bull flag here, whatever, for like a month or two, and you will get a very good entry if that plays out. But yeah, definitely the retesting here, breakout and retesting, that is your initial entry. That is the main golden trend line. We had the internal here, which was kind of a wake up here, but we had a lot of resistance still to overcome, and then we actually blasted a lot faster than I would expect, to be honest. SBLK still, in a stage 2 uptrend here on the weekly. That was a big scare, that neckline. We never even broke it, and now we came up to that trend line here, as mentioned, bull flagging, and away we go. Dip should be bought. We are in a weekly stage 2 uptrend, confirmation and everything. That was the textbook entry. And yeah, 30 weekly coming up here. You should drop down to the 4 hourly in my view. and look for entries there. I've mentioned it a lot of times. If you're looking at, let's say, the daily, and you have, all right, now it is I want to look for entries. In my view, you should drop down 2 time frames to perfectly time your entry on a much more detailed chart. We're on the weeklies, we have the daily, and then the 4-hourly. Beautiful here again. A lot of people were convinced that that was the inverted head and shoulders, me included. We had the target here, and for now at least, we are heavily going to negate it here. Again, confirmation about the right shoulder. Again, there will be a lot of resistance you can see there across the board. So, and this is one of them, like I talked about, CTRM, a hated stock, and now it's blasting through all the resistances that we can find. Maybe if we go back, let's see if that has anything to do. Maybe, but still, again, that is the main focus here. Connection, and now we're breaking out. So what should you do in my view? You go to the daily here. Again, we are pretty stretched. We have run from 0.3 to roughly 0.6. That's 100%. So again, in my view, you should look for entries depending on how you do it, bull flagging, whatever, retesting. That's totally up to you. But definitely now this is one to watch here. Again, the company, as I've heard, isn't the best of the companies, but it is hated, and I also think it's quite heavily shorted. So you could actually see some great stuff here again if the shipping sector really kicks into gear. Also, we have the false breakdown here. As you know, false breakdown usually leads to a high move in the other direction due to that false breakdown. So GLBS. This was our initial squeeze. We talked about it. It did come faster than I expected. I will say that. I didn't expect such a high move. However, we are now above, at that resistance zone right here. Again, for my personal taste as well, if I want to look for an entry, it has come a long way. We also have some negative divergence here. So I would prefer, again, some sort of just let it calm down a bit, and then you can see if you can get an entry. Again, it depends on how you play stuff here, but I'm never buying into a stock that has run this far without any further or bigger confirmation that I can buy into that. SB also beautifully here. Oh wait, this one is actually in very nice. Remove that stuff here. Look at where we are in time. Golden trend line. Connections across the board. We have 4. Now we are touching for the 5th time. The wall of resistance is getting weaker and weaker, and we are definitely knocking on that door now. Again, daily, we have come a long way. So again, I would prefer that we're just going sideways here for like a month, and then we break. I hate to have that long move up and then you blast higher only to come hard down again. So I would much prefer a bigger base, a bull flag here, and then we break. That would also make the break more, the success rate a lot more profitable if we have like a tiny pause here. But again, it is looking insanely strong, and we could break at any moment. I'm just giving you my preference that I want to have it like a week or 2 sideways, maybe even a month. That would be better, and then boom, then we go. But beautiful stuff here again. But again, it is a 15-year long trend line, and it will still take some time to crack it, I think. But this is the 5th time. We are getting close. Ship. The ship ticker here, again, breaking, that golden trend line right there. Connections all the way across. We're breaking it here now. Again, weekly overbought. That's a good thing, by the way. Dropping down 2 time frames to time your entry. Again, you can see here that we're actually going higher and higher. And again, for me, there's no entry here. Entry could be retesting or some sort of bull flagging. Again, look for that entry on the smaller time frames. Nothing goes in a straight line. There will always be another entry. So don't FOMO here. Again, if you do, I think you could be in for some pullbacks, depending on how low we go. You can also see we have a line that is getting taken out there. That is actually, didn't see that, an inverted head and shoulders. All right. So again, if we have a big retest down to here, let's say the $2 from 8 to 6, good entry point. We have, have to break out the retesting. Again, do as you may, but I'm not buying into such a move here. I want to have the confirmation. But for now, I'm looking for longs if I were to get in. D-Nord again here, also beautifully. It did actually do a lot of work here to see if that trend line could hold, and actually it did, together with the entire sector clearing that level right there. You can see it here just grinding and then boom, higher. So D-Nord here again is also avoiding that big breakdown. Again, the overall shipping sector is going very strong here. And maybe if we didn't have the issues, with the shipping canal and so on, maybe it would have done it. I don't know. That's up for yeah, who knows. Again here, this is EGLE. Again, every chart more or less looks really, really good. Breaking out here. Again, we have that huge move, indecision, 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 and we're actually now peaking above here. Very constructive also for EGL. And remember, a lot of these tickers actually pays 2-digit dividends. And this is EGL. I have a long-term trend here, the long-term golden connection 1, 2. I think we could, if this has legs to it, which I think it has, we could go to roughly 100. So we're going from 2 digits to 3 digits, and you're hitting a long-term resistance line. So roughly 100. That was very bad visual by me. Excuse me. So roughly 100 here, depending on how we get there. And that's a double from here. I could easily see that happening here. Easily. Again, always do your own due diligence. I'm just showing you what I see. Okay, here we have ESEA. ESEA, a bit of a different, the price action, the formations are a bit different compared to the others. We had that huge break here in February 2021. Huge move up, bullish flag here, breaking higher. And now we're actually close to that triangle high here at roughly, what is that? That's roughly 40. And I would expect to see some resistance there. So hopefully we have another handle, another cup, and then you have the entry. It has come a long way, so I would be surprised if it just blasts through here, to be honest. Again, it could happen, but again, I would prefer to tag it and then just grinding here, or a handle, depending on how you see it, and then you can blast higher. Then you can also time your entry when you break out there, and then you can have your stop below. That's always very nice to have again, bullish consolidation below a big trend line, because your stop should be placed right below that bullish consolidation. When you break, you place stop below, and you have an insanely good risk-reward ratio here, no doubt about it. GNK, again, also breaking. Bit of a different setup again here, yes, but again, that main squeeze there going back to roughly 2.5 years. Beautiful. In my view, we're going to hit that white resistance at roughly 20. We are at, what's that, 17 at the moment, but I guess this is only the beginning, in my view, that this could go way, way higher. Beautiful stuff here. Again, breakout, retest. We also looked at it and said that we had the perfect retest here, the perfect retest right there, and we're going higher. This is a stage 2 breakout. Actually, you break out and then you do the retest confirmation, and then boom, stage 2 on the weekly is typically where you see very strong moves for a very long time, and you can ride the trend. GNK pays 4% dividends. Beautiful, not too shabby. GOGL, same thing, that was our main resistance, and it broke, and it hasn't looked back ever since, coming into a bit of resistance in this bear flag here. You can see if you extend it out. So definitely there will be some resistance here. We will see what happens. The daily, how does it look? It's also getting a bit tired here, but anyways, it's still trending nicely. DSX, one of the more weaker ones. We also discussed it, that there were many other options. Again, we had that breakdown of the neckline here, and now we did breakdown, retest, resumption. However, I think given the overall shipping sector is really, really strong at the moment, that we could actually have the breakdown and then we actually crack it here. Again, compared to all the others, this has a lot of work to do still before it can become bullish. I would say we have to get above the neckline. So we are at 3.2 now. We need to get into 3.6-ish and stay there. And then I think it suddenly looks really, really bullish. But for now, this is bearish. We're still below or in squeezes here, and we could easily go down to here. But again, if the overall shipping sector really accelerates, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Boat here again, this is the gap up. I think that's also when the issue started. There is the gap up here. And yeah, it's just been insanely strong. And that's also why you see this is the overall ETF. That's also why you see all the stocks, the tickers just blasting off here again. Beautiful here. Confirmation, full on bull mode on the weekly for boat here. Again, let's look at the tickers. Oh yes, beautiful stuff here. Wow, this is so fantastic stuff here. Again, the red here is the neckline. That is your inward head and shoulders, and we are about to break, and I think it will happen. And yes, the measure should move from there to roughly 24 to, let's call it 85. Again, our long-term golden here, that's also, I have that line in every chart that I make. And you have the typical, again, 3 touches, and then you break here on the 4th. Just beautiful stuff here again. Confirmation here is roughly where we are at, you know what, I would say above 25. That's the real confirmation, but this looks really good. Really good. There's a tiny gap here though. Again, the gap up, you know, from 3 weeks ago when this whole issue started. So keep that in mind. Maybe if the whole issue gets resolved, I think that gap will get closed. But that's when that happens, we will look at it here. TNK, again, still on the way to our red resistance at roughly 62 to 68. Looking strong here. Would I be a buyer here? No, not at all by any means. It has come a long way on the weekly from 10 to 60. I would want to see, hopefully, if we get there, we get a tiny pullback, and then hopefully bull flagging or an ABC move, depending on how you view it, and then we can eventually go higher. Maybe it doesn't take that long, but still, it has come a long way, and we are insanely overbought on the monthly and the weekly. By the way, that's not a bad thing. But yeah, very strong, very strong. It was even strong, you know, 2 years ago. It started to become insanely strong. So TORM, whoopsie. TORM here again. You can see here we were a bit afraid just before all the issues came out. We were afraid, or at least because this is a breakdown we're going to visit here, and you can see the sudden reversal again with the issues. Again, we are trying to break out here once again. Again, the overall shipping sector lifts all boats, no pun intended. Looks really good. Again, also INSW again looks, yeah, I would say again, it looks insanely good here again, climbing higher in my view. Overall, shipping sector looks fantastic. DHT, we called that touch right there. That was the perfect entry. Again, breakout, stage 2 retest, resumption. It looks really good. Look at that last week's candle. Beautiful pace, 10% dividend. Again, if we take out that red resistance in my view, that's very bad. That one there, we're going up to here. In my honest opinion, before we see any bigger resistances, and that's also 100% from now, while you collect the dividends for like half a year, maybe depending on how fast it goes. Looks fantastic. STNG also looks really good. Again, we are now taking out, I want to remove the lines from last video. Whoa, I have so many. There you can see it coming across. Pivot low, interaction. There it is, you know, breaking down, retest, and then we just big bear market, and then testing it again here, and now again, and then poop, we're above. In my view, we're going to roughly 85, that golden trend line there, and hopefully, you know, we tag it, and then we start to really consolidate, and then we will have our big breakout of this golden trend line for this ticker. Then we go higher, in my view. Looks insanely strong across the board. Again, our good old NAD, which I'm not, again, I don't know exactly what to do with this formation here. So let's just remove the rising wedge and just wait for a break of the golden trend line, because this stuff going on here has it gives me no clear path. Again, I will say this, that the shipping sector looks really good. This will also come. Again, we are waiting for that break to get the confirmation, but definitely still grinding on. Grinding on indeed. Throw here again with a bit of a fake out here, and then we came all the way down to the 30 weekly and the green uptrend, and now we're blasting higher again, also with the help of the issues. And there is a big resistance at 25.3. But as long as you are in this green uptrend, sit tight, be right, collects dividend. You collect what? 15%. Holy moly. ZIM, the second of the two bad boys in this sector again. We also discussed it here. Want to go to the daily. You know, we had the break, we came all the way up to the pivot low, and now we are retesting, and then boom. Again, this is a heavy shorted stock, insanely shorted stock, and you have this huge move. Should you be a buyer here? No, but you drop down 2 time frames, roughly to the 4 hourly, maybe the 1 hourly, depending on what you want to do, and you find your entry. Again, it's heavily shorted, so this could actually just keep going. But again, just follow what they usually do. And also the volume kicking in insanely here. Coming into some resistance, you know, roughly in this area there. You have the highs there, almost connecting. I want to add this one in as well. So let's see what happens when we get there. The reason why I added these two is actually that high there, obviously. And then we have this stuff going on here. So it's more of a zone between 15.6 and 16.4. That is a huge supply and demand zone right there. So hopefully we get there and we start to bullish consolidate. Again, that's what I love to see. Bullish consolidation below confirmed major resistances. Boom. Again, the entries and the stop loss can be much easier placed. You cannot place your stop loss, you know, in such a move here again. So yeah, there it is. So shipping looks really good. It really does. Again, the dividend while you hold them is also very intriguing for me. But yeah, I have nothing to add other than shipping looks really good. Every ticker that we look at right now looks insanely good. However, if they resolve the issue, we have a gap to fill that started a month ago, give or take. And if it gets resolved, that gap will get filled, in my honest opinion, because it is a news-driven gap. Therefore, it will get resolved. It will get filled if they resolve it. So that is the danger of the shipping at the moment. However, thank you. It was a long video. It is what it is. Stay safe. Bye.